All right, guys, today we're going to revisit the 5 gallon, actually it's 5.5 gallons, maybe even almost 6. And the reason why I say that for new viewers is I put this together from monitor shelves, and I did this last March, I think. And we really haven't revisited it. A lot has changed, some things have grown, so we'll take a closer look. I'll show you the maintenance that I do on it to keep it looking like this. All right, so let's take a look at the tank. Let's start out with, I don't know, let me write this stuff down. So let's start first with water change. My water change in this has varied since the start because for whatever reason, I had no nitrate buildup in here, maybe 1 part per million. When the tank looked the best, my phosphate was 0.31 or 2 or something like that. So what I did more recently is I've slowed my water change schedule down. I'm waiting to see some nitrate show up. So water change is on like a hold right now, believe it or not, in 5 gallons. Can you believe it? I'm going to keep an eye on everything to make sure everything looks healthy and happy, but I want to see if I can get that Kenya tree to open up. I'm thinking maybe I don't have enough food in there for it. All right, let's see. Water change, skimmer. Let's take a closer look at the Reef Glass skimmer. I really like this one. Skimmer is Reef Glass brand. I really like this little skimmer. It works really well for me. I don't have any complaints about it at all. For 20 gallons and under, I would recommend this. You can put this in the back compartment of any all-in-one. It fits in there because it's just test tube size. And then the collection cup can be anything you want. So I have a little spring bottle back in here. I've shown this in my other video. That's where it collects the skimate. And it's awesome. My thoughts on this Skim 350, for those of you who aren't sure what this just keeps the surface water skimmed off. It keeps the dust and that compoundy, slimy surface off the top that can affect your lighting and your gas exchange. But what I'm not pleased with is it's not turning the water over as much as I would like it to. I have it set on the lowest setting. If I turn it up high, it creates micro bubbles for whatever reason in the tank. All right, so as they say, let's dive into the inhabitants of the tank. Here's Passiflora. I put this in, this was one of the first pieces I put in. It came from my 20. And you can see the difference now. Look at the growth difference since last, I would say, March. Passiflora drops spores or little polyps off. If they attach, they'll regrow. You guys who have followed me have seen these. These have grown too, guys. This guy has definitely grown. I love the colors, and they're really healthy, and they seem very resilient. I feed them once a week. All right, let's see. Water change, skimmer, Skim 350, cleanup crew corals. And here we got the Xenia, guys. The Xenia is awesome in my opinion. It can grow, and it can grow out of control, but I've noticed it's a nice, slow, even growth here. It's probably because my nitrate is very low in this tank. So this was a little frag. And this long polyped leather. This was also from the 20-gallon tank, and notice the difference. Look at the extension of the polyps in this tank. And if we go over here, the extension in the 20 is a lot less. Now I fragged this a lot. It could be part of that. You can see here where I made cuts. But I think a large part of it is the flow. You know, it's directly under a pretty intense flow here. So I think they don't extend out because of that. Corals, rock flowers, Hygger mini ATO. I have probably around 5 astrias in here and 5 hermits. And they're doing a great job on keeping things clean. Look at this little bit of bryopsis. You wouldn't call that hair algae. I mean, it is, but it isn't. And it's growing right on the shell of the snail. I've said so much about this Kenya tree that I'm just lost for words. So I'm gonna wait it out. I took the HOB off. I think there's too much particulate, whether it's dust. I've since took off the HOB, guys. I just took it off. I didn't feel it was doing anything, and if anything, it was making the water not as clear as it could be, because what it was doing was it was sucking up anything that I scraped off the glass to clean, and then it was dumping it back into the tank. I was thinking maybe it's why my Kenya tree hasn't opened up in a long time. So it's been about 3 or 4 days now without the HOB. The water looks far more clear, crystal clear. I have 1 fish left in here, pajama cardinal, and I'll tell you what happened to my other 2. Here's the fish when I first started, and they all were extremely healthy. They seemed fine in here. And then what I noticed is the yellow clown goby began to get out-competed for eating. My clown, that was just a stupid mistake I made. I left the top off one night, the screen top, and the next morning he was somewhere in this vicinity here, dried up. And we absolutely can't forget the Hygger mini wave. I have the now infamous Hygger mini wave in here. It's been beautiful, it works well. I have it set on nutrition wave, and not because of so much of the nutrition, but I have it set on that because it creates a wave pulse, which I thought would be kind of cool. So here's the pulse. If you look at the LEDs, they go down. See, it's going down, which is in tune with slowing the pump down. And now they'll come up. It's rising now. And I have a video on that on the settings. You can determine what you want your setting on. I've had this for that whole length of time from the start of this tank, so it's 9 months old. No problems whatsoever. I take it out once a month to clean it. If something kind of gets stuck in there, like some hair algae or something, I'll take it out. It's easy to remove. Guys, I think I have to take a little credit for the Hygger wave and its use in the reefing hobby now. All right, water change, skimmer, skim 350, cleanup crew, corals, rock flowers, Hygger mini, ATO. I think I got it all, right, guys? Kessel A80, great light for any small aquarium. I would say 10 gallons and under. And from what I understand now, you can get these where they can be ramped up and down. There's a controller that's sold separately. But I found that I don't really need a ramp up on this tank, so this is my setting. The intensity is only on what it is because I'm filming right now. Usually I have that fully up now, all the way up, as high as you can go, and then the color temperature is always at this about 2 o'clock setting. Here's a bird's eye view, guys, of the 5 gallon. If I can hold my camera still, I'll show you the size. See, this is my hand. So, I mean, I have large hands, but it's small. ATO Micro. This isn't the light. This is the more expensive one. But since then, they've come up with a light. And that just feeds from my main tank here. I have 3 tanks that are fed from this ATO container. My Pico, my 20 gallon, and the 5 gallon. ATO. I think I got it all right, guys. If I forgot anything, any questions, leave them in the comments section below the video. All right, guys. I think that does it for this one, right? I agree. I wanted to tell you guys, thank you so much for saying you want longer videos, because that means you're not getting sick of me. But I can't force them. The content has to just unfold. And the creative aspect, I don't want you to be bored to death while you're watching it. So I can't force the time. They come out to whatever they come out. Some are longer, some are shorter. So I appreciate that. It shows, though, that you're enjoying the videos and you want more of it. I can't think of anything else to blah blah about, guys. I got the list, I went through it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments section below and I'll try to get to them on Water Change Wednesday. Water Change Wednesday seemed to turn into Water Change Tuesday last week because I completely forgot that it was only Tuesday. All day Tuesday, I thought it was Wednesday. All right, let's take a little closer look on the skimmer. Let's take a closer look at the reef. Oh man.